Welcome to Ecstatic Yoga. I am Grace. So happy you are here. This is week 10 of our Ecstatic Yoga, and we are moving into the vijnanomaya kosha. So this is a real sacred leap. This is like the leap from lower mind to higher mind, the leap from suffering to joy and ecstasy. And it's a leap we take over and over, and we keep creating more and more bunny tracks, and it becomes more and more natural for us to reside and expand our nervous system and expand our consciousness so that it's dwelling in and connected to and basking within this vijnanomaya kosha sheath layer of our being. And so we're going to focus on that today for our yin practice, like really trying to bring this kriya, this philosophy of yoga onto the mat as we practice. So with the yin yoga, we're going to be a little slower. I'm actually going to probably get a sweatshirt. It feels a little chilly. We want to get a sweatshirt or have our body be warm. Make a nice little nest for your savasana. We'll probably do a little bit longer savasana today. And I want to just start the class with the present moment conversation. As you all know, week 10 class, and whoever tunes into this is, there was a suicide, a loss, and it's been traumatic and tremendous, and our entire community's heart is broken, and there's a void in all of us, and it certainly opens up old wounds of losing John, and woulda, shoulda, coulda's, and it has really tempted me to dabble in that lower mind, in the manamaya kosha, in the mental body, but the mental body of manas, the mental body of chitta, the mental body of disturbances, of distractions, of victim, of disempowered stories, and even resentments, and just coming up, like holding on to these old resentments and angers. And so my lower mind has been very activated, and have been doing more meditation. I apologize, my lessons have been coming late. It's been hard to get through the motions of the day, and I can't even tell you how grateful I am and thankful for the gift that you all brought, the flowers and the chocolates and the card. And I look at those flowers I was showing my friend today, stopped by, and that has things like that. You have no idea what a difference they do make. Make you feel like you're not alone. So thank you for that. So I have been having to really actively, first of all, the first thing that has come to me, which has been a real blessing, is the awareness. So it feels like I'm a little less engaged in the story in my lower mind this week. For some reason, it's still all coming up, and the same emotions are being triggered, but I'm in a little bit more state of awareness of like, oh, this is me and this is any human being in their lower mind. When we're in these denser aspects of our nervous system, even, and our limited nervous system, as John always tells me. And then as we move into the higher consciousness, as we move into vijnanamaya kosha, when we bring our attention there, we're residing in our focus there and allowing from there all this karmas and charges to burn away and to feel them fully without getting engaged in the story, the past, and the resentment in the story. Because the mind, when it's screaming, it's right, they were so mean to me. And it just can't hear and process the emotions and emotional things and the samskaras that are trying to heal. They're just in this blindfold. And I think that's what happens with anyone who the act of taking your own life. You must feel there's no other option. You have those, you're so screaming, listening to the stories and the demons in your own mind that are just lies and illusions of the past and all that lower mind stuff that grips us. And it's been really gripping me this week. And I've been even feeling a little upset at myself. Like, wow, you're really spiraling down sometimes in your conversation. And I've had to work my way up and move myself into higher conversations consciously and be really mindful of, because I've also seen how when we're in this lower mind of manas, it hurts relationships because we'll be so unconscious and we're not talking from wisdom. We're talking from reactivity and hurt and trauma. And then it teaches those around, especially children, if we're talking from reactivity and trauma, teaches that's how they react. That's how their feelings are gonna be living in their lower mind and sometimes yelling at each other, sometimes not, maybe whatever, but they're gonna be, that's what they learn, how to communicate as a human, yell and react from the lower mind. But if we can hold our consciousness in the higher mind and communicate and react from a higher state, from this state of seeing a higher picture where forgiveness just is natural, there's nothing to forgive, no matter what. And I've got to learn that deeply, integrate that myself, especially right now. So let's begin. We're going to start in child's pose with our focus. And as you go into child's pose, you can spread out those legs a little bit. Let me move this down just a little bit. Take a moment to kind of recognize this vijnanomaya kosha, which we were in last week, and recognize what it feels like to be in the mental, and that triggers the emotional. And as we notice what it sounds like, what does this voice sound like in the mental, especially when we're upset, and just noticing this from this place of the vijnanomaya kosha, this complete intelligence. It's like we see, or our physical eyes can see the light spectrum. I mean, the visible light spectrum within the entire light spectrum. So it's like, boom. And now we're in this vijnanomaya kosha, listening to the manas, from listening to what the manas is saying from this vijnanomaya kosha, and allowing us to see from that higher perspective. Even that we're all one, and we're always seeing ourselves in other people's eyes, and any reaction is because a wound in us got triggered. And so from that place, we'll take a few breaths in child's pose. And from that place of witnessing, coming up into a table pose and just moving the hips back and forth a little bit, and checking in with the self as you begin to breathe into the lower belly. Just make some spontaneous movements in table. You might want to move into cat-cow, inhaling as you arch that back, extension of the spine, tailbone is lifted up, and exhaling into cat, which back rounds up like a Halloween cat, tail is tucked under. Just flowing in this table pose, moving the body in ways, maybe moving all the way into an up dog. You may want to come down to the floor and move into some floor poses. Deep breaths. And bringing your awareness, beginning to remove and withdraw the awareness from the manas and the vijnanomaya kosha and those stories, and let them know that they've been heard and we understand their voice and their pain and their limited perspective. We understand that, and we understand that we're not guilty for these feelings and whatever it may be, lust or jealousy or greed. We're not guilty. This is human nature. And when the manas, the lower mind, these are some of the patterns that it falls into because it was taught that it's not your patterns and your jealousies. You were taught it, innocently taught it. But we don't want to carry it forth right now. We want to learn to how to exist as a human at basking in this vijnanomaya kosha, this higher mind. And wherever you are in your table, just coming all the way down onto your belly. Taking a moment to rest on your belly, turning the head to one side or the other, and just resting, imagining you're that sponge and you're going to sponge up all the nutrients that your body may need, the wisdom, the strength, the information, the opportunities, and receiving that with a gratitude and a thank you, the love that you can activate from within. And as you rest, turning your head anytime you want or need, a few more minutes as you absorb in this love and nutrients, gratitude, and truly realizing on this deep level that even as you absorb these vibrations, that everything sources from within you. And as we reach into this vijnanomaya kosha, this higher mind, this place of pure wisdom, the borderland to Purusha, pure, conscious, divine, source, creator, God of our understanding. We come toward our Father, our Mother, our Creator, and we let go. We let go of the past, all the hurts and the wounds, all the injustice of the past. We have to let it go. We have to let that manas state of mind let me see this. Wait, what's this? Maybe we can't pause it. All right. Taking a few breaths, just resting your head from one side to the other, just absorbing this act of letting go and surrendering. This is also our week of surrender in the niyamas. And we have to surrender these disempowered ways, these old ways that are so strong and we're so used to in the vijnanomaya kosha. We have to let those patterns go. And I invite you to just really recognize that they truly are like old tinker toys. You'll never use, they'll never bring you forward. They'll never inspire you to move forward. They'll only hold you back. If you're 25 years old and you're still in your room playing tinker toys, you're being held back. We're moving forward, expanding our consciousness, and we have to let that go. A few more breaths. Now bringing your head to center if it's not. And let's nicely and bringing the arms out to the side. The toes can be touching, pressing that pelvis into the floor. That's going to be our foundation. Feel that nice and solid. And then the next inhale, lifting the legs, the arms, the chest. And breathe. One more breath. And releasing down. Moving the head to one side or the other. And taking this time as if there's anything else you need to let go of. Something maybe you haven't thought of that you can just simply let go. That's in this lower mind. And you only need to be able to let them go for this moment, right now. Beautiful. I'm going to reach the hands out. And on the next inhale, lifting the right arm and the left leg and extending them away from the body, lengthening away. And breathe. One more breath. And on the exhale, coming down. And keeping the body right where it is. And as you next inhale, lifting the left hand and the right leg and extending them away from the body. And breathe. One more breath. And releasing down and noticing the body as you're stretched out a little bit and taking a breath or two. You can move the hands to relax the head. And as you breathe, bringing your awareness into this higher aspect, a higher voice, a more subtle energy. And noticing as you expand into this vijnanomaya kosha, it opens the heart to love. I'm going to do one more belly pose. So we're going to move into baby cobra, bringing the hands directly under the shoulders, bringing the elbows in toward the body, Feeling that pelvis, the quadriceps, the tops of the feet connected to the earth. This is our foundation. And we're not going to be using our arms like in our up dog. We're going to use those back muscles. So exhaling completely on the inhale, lifting the head, the chest, the heart, allowing that back to arch up, strengthening the back muscles, feeling the foundation, and breathe. And on the exhale, exhaling down. Bringing the head to one side or the other. Resting in this higher self, this higher voice, this wiser narrator in your mind, this more subtle energy and vibrational field. Place within you that is at peace. And constantly expanding into that. And as you gently come up, we're going to come up onto our side here. And that is to move into just, you can find your half plank. And so you can bring the knee and the leg. However, let's see, let me up here. There's so many different ways you can do your half plank. And if you get inspired to do the full plank, side plank, we'll do, because it's a yin class, we invite you to do a nice half plank. And you can do a lot of things with those arms. Feeling the side body open, heart open, breathing into that lower belly as you're resting in that higher mind, that vijnanomaya kosha. And next inhale, we're going to come up and bringing the knees together. We're going to move over to the other side, and you can find a nice half plank on this side, opening up the heart. This is a nice modification for a side plank, or even in a plank. Maintaining that connection to the vijnanomaya kosha. And coming back up, bringing those knees together. Just going to find a nice hero pose. So you can either bring a block between the knees and sit right down on your block, or you can just bring your buttocks right down to the earth and having the shins on the side. And taking a few breaths sitting in hero pose, opening up your chest, your heart, breathing. If a full hero is too much, moving into your block. And you can always modify it with easy pose, Sukhasana. Beautiful. And we're going to roll up and bring those legs out in front of us. Move into a couple forward folds. And as we move into forward fold, it's a natural invitation for us to go within, to go inside the heart. And as we move forward and we spend a few breaths going in towards our own hearts, basking in that vijnanomaya kosha. If you notice pain loop or a disempowering story or a victim story, or both disempowering victim or disempowering stories in your own mind, notice that as the manas, you're gripped by that lower mind, that conversation, And then consciously let that go and bring your awareness into this state of infinite, more expanded wisdom, this beauty that all are truly one and all are unified. And there's divine grace. And we're having this experience through this DNA where we are wholly loved, perfect, whole, and complete. And listening to these voices that there is only love, that there is a place of peace within all of us. It can never be disrupted. It can never be destroyed. It's always there. And resting in that or intending towards that. And I invite you to, so we inhale, lengthening the spine, and then exhale, hinging forward. And noticing you may not be able to hinge as deeply if when you're in a single leg fold. That's okay. Just find your edge. Taking a nice deep breath here. And then coming forward in your forward fold. Rounding the back if you like. And resting in this forward fold. Diving into your own higher mind. Vijnanomaya kosha. Listening to that voice. And one more breath. And on the next inhale, gently coming up. We're going to open the legs up. We're going to move from one side to the other. So I'm going to go to my left side first. I'm going to be able to mirror you in this. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, hinging forward and diving that awareness into yourself. Having a conversation with the voice inside the vijnanomaya kosha. It's on the appreciation and acknowledgement and praise. Seeing your beauty. If the Manamaya mind starts coming in conversation, consciously bring yourself back. Let that voice go, that programming, that conditioning, that channel on the radio, and turn the knob, change the channel to the Vijnanamaya kosha. Coming gently and kindly up on the inhale and taking a moment in the middle, just connecting with yourself and finding that voice. And then moving over to the other side, squaring your body towards that right foot or the other foot, if it was right. Inhaling, lengthening the body. Exhaling, hinging forward. Feeling that gentle edge. Taking a breath there. Seeing maybe if you can hinge a little bit deeper. Once you're at that edge, rounding the spine and going inward. A few breaths, diving in and listening to the highest advice, maybe what maybe you would say to a friend or a loved one. And speak that to yourself right now. And a couple more breaths. And then the next inhale. Coming up, we're going to bring those feet together in Asana, wrapping the hands around the feet and flapping those butterfly wings. Maintaining that deep connection with vijnanomaya kosha, its expanded self, the highest voice where we really put into action this think. Is it true, helpful, inspiring, necessary, or kind? Where's that voice inside you that can speak to you in that loving way? And slowing that down. Beautiful. And we are going to, we've done enough forward folds. Let's just do a little forward fold here. Why not? Inhaling, lengthening the spine, and exhaling, folding forward. And finding your gentle edge and resting for a few breaths here. As you dive the attention inward towards yourself, bring your attention, your life force, your prana, your energy, your acceptance, your love, your acknowledgement, your praise in towards your own being. And on your next inhale coming up, we're going to bring those legs out in front of us and we are going to come onto our backs. Let's hug the legs into the chest and rock back and forth and just bringing a real sense of comfort and love towards our own selves. And bring the legs down. We're going to move into a little supported bridge for our yin, and it's going to be a little bit of a lengthened bridge. So maybe about 3 minutes. Set the timer. To really allow a gentle back bend and giving it some time to integrate this extension, this gentle extension of the spine. If we just breathe in and sit in a pose for just a few seconds, we don't get as much benefit if we hold it a little bit. So we're going to do 3 minutes. So you'll find either a block or a blanket that you can put right under your sacrum area, and that allows right at the very bottom of your lumbar spine, and it allows a nice gentle extension of the lumbar spine right on the top of that sacrum, and adjusting it to make sure it feels comfortable for you. And remembering you can always come out of a pose at any time. We'll just rest in this for about 2.5 more minutes. And our hearts are open and we're basking in the vijnanomaya kosha, the higher conversation, the higher mind. Many emotions come up that may be coming up from the Manomaya kosha. Let them be just dissolved and assimilated into this vijnanomaya kosha, burned away by the light of the vijnanomaya kosha. And on your next inhale, you can bring the knees off the feet on the earth, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips up and removing your block or your cushion or your blanket. And nice and slowly and gently, let's bring those knees into the chest and rock. Releasing and relaxing that lower back. And then releasing the legs down. Let's bring the right ankle to rest just above the left knee and move into our supine pigeon. Lift that left foot up, clasp the hands behind the hamstring of the left leg, and gently pulling that leg in. Breathing into the belly, basking in that vijnanomaya kosha. Have a conversation. One more breath here. And gently releasing. And as we switch, just maintaining that connection with the vijnanomaya kosha, the higher mind. Noticing as you rest in this truth, bringing the left ankle to above the right knee, lifting the right leg up, and clasping the hands behind the hamstring and pulling that right leg in. The right elbow or arm can open up the right hip for more sensation. Gently engage the bandhas and simply rest in this higher, more expanded place of conscious awareness. And noticing that Vijnanamaya Kosha has a main topic. I'm not good enough, I'm not loved, I'm not important, something kind of like that. And looking at that from this super high place, your infinite source to this infinitely powered Vijnanamaya Kosha, watching that story and how the Vijnanamaya Kosha can ask you, is that true? Is that really, really true? Can you really know that that's really, really true, that you're not loved? And releasing the leg. And let's bring the legs out straight and flop them up and down a little bit. And take a moment on your back, just asking this question from your higher mind, asking the Manomaya Kosha, the mental body within the Manomaya Kosha. Can this be true? This victim statement that you carry with you at times and dabble in those pain loops. And see what arises by aligning with what is true. You know that this is true. And you really, really know that it's true. You're not loved. But it's even unfair. You take into account lifetime after lifetime after lifetime information we don't have. In between lifetime we don't have. And gently raising the knees up. And hopefully, like with this little expansion of your consciousness, that maybe some of the stories that you've been listening to, that you're not empowered or you are a victim or there's all this injustice, that you really don't know for certain if they're absolutely true. And we can let them go because we don't want to be carrying in our nervous system disempowering stories that upset us that we can't even know that are true. And that's an act of forgiveness for ourselves and all that we are connected to. Beautiful. So let's just bring the legs back and forth a little bit. Noticing those sensations and maybe resting them on one side for a minute. And lifting that upper leg, bring it all the way to the other side. And feel this Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet are together, legs are open. Feeling that, lower back, the hips, the pelvis, the legs. And let's bring those knees together and bring them up into the chest now. And bring those feet together in Supta Baddha Konasana. So we're all on our back, feet are up, supine, and pulling those feet in towards the body. And then opening up one leg at a time, feeling the nice sensations. And watching that mind, watching the thoughts, and noticing what channel you're tuned into. Are you tuned into the manas, the vijnanomaya kosha? Are you tuned into vijnanomaya kosha? Are you tuned into the lower mind and the disempowering story? Or are you tuned into the higher mind and inspiring stories? And keeping the breath flowing. And when you feel ready, just moving into happy baby, opening up both legs as you continue to notice your attention and consciously bringing it to that vijnanomaya kosha. And making any last movements or poses before we move into our savasana. And getting ready for savasana, we're going to get extra cozy. It's going to be a little bit longer savasana. Oh, it's not going to be that much longer, sorry. Settling in, getting nice and comfortable. And Feeling that earth underneath you, supporting your body, and inviting your muscles to release the tension even deeper. Sinking into the earth. Letting go. Feeling a sense of surrender and surrendering and letting go of all that no longer serves, so you can surrender into the unknown and higher, more expansive possibilities. Relaxing deep into the silence of your vijnanomaya kosha, the wisdom of your higher self, the Atman, expanded intelligence, this deep, connected part of the source of all that is. Taking a nice deep breath into the belly. Gently and kindly coming back. And scanning your body and your being and making this intention to maintain this connection to this higher self, this higher body, this higher aspect of your being, this higher sheath throughout the day and the days, and noticing when you fall back down to the lower mind, and consciously invite yourself to move back into that experience of the vijnanomaya kosha. And thank you so much for joining me. We'll conclude with a namaste. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, light, truth, and peace. When I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, we are one. Namaste.